now with these new 3-month formats, are Cliff Orts going to stick around?
Yeah,
you know,
things can change at the drop of a dime.
Oh, look! We got Mermails.
Oh, we do have Mermails indeed.
This is table 1. So we have
Idris versus a relatively unknown person. I don't know this gentleman very well.
Idris actually, he is a local from Kitchener-Waterloo area.
Sure, okay.
He plays at Just by Chance games, and he's actually he's got this cute, calm demeanor to him. But do not be fooled. He packs a punch. Okay. He sitting at table 1 right now, as we can see.
Yes, and
he actually took the last Oshawa Regional by storm, playing a very interesting Shaddoll spellbook variant.
Oh, weird.
That used a spellbook of power to just consistently put pressure on the opponent with big monsters, because every Shaddoll is a spellcaster monster. I've also lost to him at Just by Chance when he was playing a bunch of variants on Madolches.
Very interesting.
He was playing a Psychic Madolche deck for a really long time. He likes to think outside of the box, and I think that's what gets him really far.
And seeing here, it doesn't look like he's running too much out of the blue here in his Mermail deck. It seems pretty standard, except that he's maining triple Shadow Mirror.
That is a common move in most, but I think, luckily, he's playing Shaddolls. If he were to be playing Cliff Orts, that would just bite him.
And well, the game has started, and his opponent is Eric Dalton. He's top 16 the YCS Toronto recently, and he's topped the last 2 regionals in Oshawa and Toronto. Eric Dalton from residing from Oshawa, Ontario, and he plays at Skyfox Games. Quite a hidden player himself. And there's an El Shaddoll fusion
right off the hop,
coming off the bat.
Not wasting any time here. Going right for that construct.
He
really wants to sculpt his hand here. He's probably going to send a beast.
Yeah, the beast or beast or Squamata at least. And probably beast though, because he's dumped a hedgehog, and he probably is thinking about getting a Falco to his hand, so he can open up with the power play of a set Falco. Yep. And then is he going to get that Falco? Yes, he is. Yep. That's exactly what he's going to do.
He's just trying to turn the gears in his favor for future turns. The good thing about El Shaddoll Fusion is that he loses almost nothing off this exchange, making that construct.
It doesn't.
The fusion will replace itself immediately with the fusion monster itself.
And he still controls 5 cards on the board. So
in his opening hand.
He's perfectly fine.
Now Idris is going to go to 6, playing a Mermail deck.
Running the Mermail.
Is he going to open with the generic Undyne play that we've grown so familiar with?
Eric Dalton. I've had many duels with Eric Dalton, and I've played a lot with my Mermail. So Eric Dalton should know his Mermails well, and now he just sees what his matchup is.
There's the Undyne.
Now let's see if he can be able to handle these Mermails. So
is that Dragoons?
So Dragoons. So he adds Genesis Controller. Dragoons will activate, and he'll get himself a Mermail Ibis Megalo.
Do you think Idris might try to OTK right now?
I don't think so.
Is he playing Mooling Glacier? I didn't actually check.
There's too much on the board. But he will activate that Megalo right off the bat, and he's going to pitch a double Marksman.
Oh, that is brutal.
Ooh.
If Eric has an emptiness here.
Dalton is not going to respond. He's going to let that go. So let's see what he's going to do now. So it looks like there will be no response to Megalo.
I know that one of Eric's back row is another El Shaddoll fusion.
Oh, you think so?
So what he could do here is that he could chain it in order to make a Winda, and that would force Idris to only have the Megalo for the turn.
Yeah. But at the same time, he's got to be careful, because that Winda can be beat over.
Run over, yeah, of course.
So Dalton has to tread lightly here, because now this comes to the point of uncertainty, because we don't know what those 2 cards that 2 marksmen are discarding, because that's what's happening right now. So it looks like he's allowing that Megalo to go through, and then once that Megalo hits the field, we're going to form a chain of marksman, Megalo. It's going to destroy face down, and search is going to be the chain. So he does allow it to go through, and so there he's going to build the chain. He's got to declare his targets as he builds this chain. He's yet to do so, and we're waiting to see what his targets are. So he's made his targets, the monster on a back row, and then Megalo is chain link 3. So let's see if Dalton will decide to make a chain link 4 here. So So it's Sinister Shadow Games. That's what it's going to be.
Now, what will his best option here is just to send a beast, I think.
Just to send a beast. Well, you may not want to send the beast because if he sends the beast and decides to flip that Falco, he doesn't want to special summon that beast. So in my he might want to send like maybe a hedgehog or something.
No, I think he actually sent a beast.
Maybe he sent or maybe he want to special summon something else then off it. So maybe he sent a beast.
And will he flip his Falco?
He will flip.
No,
no,
he won't.
Or maybe he or maybe he didn't and let it get destroyed, and then Falco special summons. We don't know what clearly happened yet, as they didn't go through real proper procedure here. So we don't know if that. We're gonna assume that Falco was indeed destroyed by the marksman. He had chosen not to flip it. Not the move that I would have made personally, but then again, we don't know what he's packing.
What, he didn't even search his Abyss card.
No, he did. He did search his sphere.
Did he? Okay, I didn't see that.
Sphere. Yeah, it did go by pretty quickly.
No, why does he still have one more set card remaining?
Yes, that's what we're trying to figure out. Unless he actually did successfully destroy the Falco with Marksman, and then let it special summon again. Now, this is what I find interesting. Now he's going to do it from his hand. It looks like that's an Eclipse Wyvern from his hand. And the Falco. So he's going to go into another construct. Yes. Yes, he is.
That's probably going to banish him a Dark Armed.
Yeah. Because all he's going to get is the Dark Armed. Constructs. So Chain Link 1 is Eclipse Wyvern. Chain Link 2 is the construct. Sorry, the construct.
There are so many chains happening right now.
Yep, so construct dumps a hedgehog, Eclipse Wyvern banishes Dark Armed, and a new chain hedgehog activates and will add a dragon to his hand. So now Idris has to stare down two constructs with visibly nothing to be able to stop this.
Now, we know he has a G-Nex controller in his hand, so he might just go for Leo.
Well, he can't this turn, unfortunately. And Leo would actually pose no problem towards the constructs, as the constructs can even destroy him. So he's stuck in a bit of a situation here. So obviously one of those set cards has to be an Abyss Sphere because he searched it out. And he's got the pass. And it looks like he just drew into a Super Polymerization.
That would be brutal.
That's exactly
that is.
Compared with the dragon, and I don't know what that third spell or trap card is. That third card is. It is a spell. So, 28 is going to attack over the.
Well, the Megalo's not going to take any damage.
Yes, because it's the effect of the construct. But we can't say the same there for Genix Undown, who's going to take 1,600 slaps to the face.
Such a strong start for Idris, just completely stymied by staring down two constructs.
Yeah, and I think the two marksman plays just
completely backfired on him.
In his face. Absolutely, it did.
Now, the reason I said he could make Leo is because I thought he might have maybe a breakthrough skill or something in his back row.
Yeah, and it looks like he set the dragon, and he's got. I believe his other card is a Mystical Space Typhoon. That seems to be the card that he.
Yeah, he did have a Mystical Space Typhoon in his hand.
That's the card.
So that's Super Polarization, and he's going to hang on to both.
Hang on to both, and he's going to hope that Idris is going to play the Abyss Sphere, hopefully in that end phase, so he can use that Typhoon. So is that what Idris is going to do?
He probably. Mermail plays are pretty much dictated and conditioned by certain rules and regulations. So
Oh, and indeed he waits for the end phase.
And there was no way to read that MST
at all. No. And indeed he gets for the main phase 2 Abyss Sphere, and it is countered with that Mystical Space Typhoon.
And does he have another?
Yeah, that is the question.
Oh, it looks like he's going right to his draw phase. I didn't catch what he drew.
And now, how do you get out of this? Double construct.
I think his only way out is Raigeki.
Raigeki, unless he can somehow, unless he can somehow bring an Abyss Gaios to the field and at least stall the game out.
Yeah, make sure they can't attack.
That's about the only other way I can think of.
That looks like a Lind.
It does look like an Abyss Lind he's got in his hand right now, and I don't know what Abyss Lind's going to be able to do in this situation. He can
Unless he's got
possibly
got a title in his hand, maybe.
Yeah, that's the only other thing I can
That's
think
the only
of.
thing I can think of.
You can try to ram that Abysslin into the constructs, and then banish for title and go to Abyss-Gaios and at least slow down the game. But I don't know if I'm going to see that happen. And
Dalton's looking to kind of pressure him into making a play.
Yeah, well, he has.
Yeah.
He has taken a considerable amount of time here trying to make his move, and frankly, I couldn't blame Eric one bit. That Idris is visibly stymied as 2 construct is not really something you want to see in Mermails, and the best way for them to at least give themselves a chance is to be able to stall with the Abyss-Gaios. But it almost looks like he can't even do that play.
So he does have a
second sphere. It's strange how he opted not to play it.
Well, aren't you only a black white 1 sphere a turn?
No, you're allowed to activate as many spheres as you want.
Oh.
So he hits the sphere. So he rams it in, and he brings out Abyss Pike. Abyss Pike activates.
Can he make an Exciton here, I wonder?
Does
he have a gun?
He could very well, but he doesn't. Oh, discards it Abyss Lind. Wow.
Unless he just gets. Oh.
That's another Genex on that.
Okay.
Rather desperate play. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does he have a mind control in his hand, possibly? That's the only other play I can think of that would make sense.
Oh, he's going to black
rose.
rose.
Oh, he's going to black rose the field? Or Gungear?
Yeah, there's the black rose.
Yeah. Typhoon. Oh, okay. So he loses the Typhoon. He's going to
get 2 El Shaddoll fusions back to his hand.
Yes, 2 El Shaddoll fusions back. I mean, that's...
Beast is going to let him...
I don't know what those 2 cards are. They're in his hand. Okay.
Yeah.
He set them rather peculiar. Almost thinking that they could have been monster. They could have been set spell trap cards. You got to be careful not to do something like that. So he gets the Undyne.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to send the title?
That might be one of the most the best choice in this case.
Yeah.
If you don't know what to do, dump the title. And that's indeed what he's going to do here.
Well, he's already burned both of his marksmen.
Yeah, he did. And does he play any heavy infantry?
He's not playing a single heavy infantry.
No. So he does decide to banish the Black Rose and an Undyne for title. And he's going to swing...
He's put Eric in a very vulnerable position. Sure, Eric gets those fusions back, but unless he has monsters to make it work, they're not doing squat.
Yeah, and he lost it to Shaddoll, and he lost one to Shaddoll Dragon too.
And getting the Black Rose to blow up the field actually removes the entire threat of having an extra deck monster on the field as well. If he were to draw his fusion. So now...
Sinister Shadow Games in the end phase. So
now
what?
He's probably going to send a dragon here, I think.
I don't know if that would be the
or
best.
A hedgehog.
Just to bomb the back row. So
or
it's a Falco.
Yeah.
So a Falco in the end phase isn't that bad.
Now, does Idris have the breakthrough skill? Now, does Eric still have a dragon in hand, or did he?
No, that was the card that was set.
That's what I thought. So those L shells are still dead.
Yes. So unfortunately for Eric,
but not very much longer, unless the effect is not negated.
Could not get a monster. So he will choose to flip the Falco, and he's going to special summon. Looks probably going to be a beast, is my guess.
See, I was under the assumption he still had a dragon in hand. That's why.
No, his dragon was a set monster. So he kind of wasted it, unfortunately. So he's going to target the constructs. Amazingly.
Curious.
Curious. Now let's see what kind of play he's going to make.
But he might be trying to make a third construct. Oh.
Interesting. He decides to put the Shaddoll fusion.
Oh, so he can get the Shaddoll fusion back to his hand.
Yeah. He can.
Okay, I see.
But he does reveal that information. So he'll at least be able to activate the construct to add a Shaddoll fusion back to his hand, and the other construct to at least put a card to his graveyard, presumably either dragon or beast, or even Squalmata to do one of the other ones afterwards.
I think it's likely going to be a dragon, just to make sure that he can attack safely. Yeah,
dragon. Okay, so he will decide to pop that back row card.
Oh.
And it's a Phoenix Wing Wind Blast.
And I think Idris just took the game.
That is not something you want to see.
Eric went from having total control and losing to simple Black Rose.
He did overcommit to the field.
Already visibly angry at the time it took Idris to make his move.
Because Eric's draws have not been that great thereafter. And Eric's old foe of Mermails have come back to hit him again. So he decides to set 2 more, possibly as bluffs. So the title returns back to the hand because it has to. It's a special summon.
Of course.
And he's going to
hit the board one more time, yeah.
And why not?
Idris has nothing to lose by summoning this time.
Yeah, absolutely not. And plenty
That's
of
the good thing about Dragon Rule is you just keep throwing them at back row and see what sticks.
Yep. And it's so useful in the Mermails too because there's so many cards that use discard outlets and titles. Just so good in that. Oh no, what does Dalton have set that he can
Dalton has
possibly
his face downs are 2 Super Poly, 1 Super Poly and 2 El Shaddoll fusions.
Yes, they are. So I don't know.
So
if
I think he's trying to play a mind game with Idris, making him think that he has something that he really doesn't.
You got to think of what could those cards be theoretically in the eyes of Idris.
Maybe he's trying to make him think he has something like a compulsory evacuation
It's
device.
possible.
Oh.
And there's an Abyss Lyn. There's the 3rd Abyss Lyn we've seen of the day.
And
And
there's the
Eric's like, nope, I'm having no more of this.
So we go from seeing extremely fast games all day to the first, relatively slow grind game.
Yes, this was quite a grind game we had there, and Mermail's was making a big comeback with that Black Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, he gave them the El Shaddoll fusions, but what are you going to fuse if you have no monsters?
Oh, unexpected. The fact that he had double sphere really won him that game.
It really did.
Yeah, if he did not have that second sphere, I don't think it would have turned out the same way it did.
No, it's amazing how that all transpired. Like it seemed that Eric was in control, and that even that Black Rose, you'd think Eric's still in this, but
yeah,
he had a couple consecutive bad draws there with no monsters, and there you go.
Well, you know more than anyone that the Shaddoll deck needs to win with monsters.
It does indeed.
So if you don't draw your monsters, sure, you could have all the fusions you want in your hand,
but you're not getting.
It's not getting you very far.
Knowing Mermails, well, we all know that he searched that second Undyne, so I'm like, whatever, he's got a title. I can beat down whatever. And he's not summoned for the extra deck, so he's playing very cautious. He's playing very cautious.
Well, he gave Eric so much information, but because of Eric's draws, that information meant nothing.
It's true. And now that...
and Idris was free to just play the beatdown game.
Yeah, that Wing Blast was able to help him out.
I honestly did not see that one coming.
No,
it's not a card you see quite often in a Mermail deck.
Is he playing any salvage to help recuperate any of the losses?
No. His spell lineup consists of 1 Book of Moon, 2 MSTs, 1 Soul Charge, and that's it.
So now we have to look at what this match is going to be, because generally the weaknesses of Mermails are the same as in Shaddolls. They're both graveyard control.
Yeah, both big graveyard
effects when they hit the graveyard. So you gotta wonder what's going to be decided here.
Looking at his deck, he's not playing any Shadow Mirrors, but he is citing a Steel Swarm Roach. That's not going to help him in this matchup. Oh, that's right. He's mating the Shadow Mirrors.
Mating through Shadow.
And we didn't see them at all this game.
It's amazing.
All I can see him side here is 1 Vanity's Fiend, and he's siding 1 Prideful Roar. That'll be interesting.
Yes, that is a very interesting card to use.
And 2 Mind Crush, but that'll just trigger the Shaddoll, so I don't...
Yeah, that's not usually the best call. Dalton, on the other hand, he could probably do a Vanity's Emptiness, probably another Mystical Space Typhoon, or even Trap Sense, but I don't see a whole lot coming out of him on this end. A Bottomless Trap Hole, Thunder King, maybe Mind Control, a Compulsory Evacuation. Maybe not Compulsory Evacuation. There's a couple cards you can use. Just your generic traps and spells, but that's not much afterwards.
Idris is also citing a 3rd Breakthrough skill, so that'll certainly help him dealing with Winda.
Yes, it will, because Mermails do like to special summon more than once on a turn.
Now, he's also citing 3 Chain Disappearance. Do you think he's going to bring that in here?
No, I don't think. Not against Shaddolls. There's not a whole lot to hit. You would hit Falco and a Hedgehog, and that's relatively it.
Well, hitting a Falco is pretty detrimental.
It is, but traditionally they just only run 2, and if they're without it, then they can normally adapt fine.
So it looks like Eric's going first. Somebody that first or mathematician, always a strong play.
Always a strong.
Either going to sending a squall. Oh, he's going for. Is he going to go for a turn 1 Arcanine?
think so.
I'm confused.
It seems rather uncanny. Now, he does have a Shaddoll Fusion in his hand as well,
So
which might be the case.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Or no.
And he passes.
Does he have a Blackluster Soldier in his hand? Doesn't even look like that. So very peculiar that he wants to
very
summon
curious. Very
Felice
curious.
on the first turn. Perhaps he's trying to play some mind games with the opponent, making him think he's got a Blackluster Soldier in the hand.
But he still doesn't have a dark.
He doesn't.
Maybe he just didn't want to risk drawing the Felice later on in the game and wanted to mitigate that threat before.
It very well could have been.
Now, Idris is starting again with 6 cards. And it seems that no matter what he does here, that he's got Dalton by the collar here. No matter what, he's got to.
Yes, because all these cards do not like to be hit by the marksman or infantry, and he's going to send an Abyssal to crash the Mathematician. So Abyssaline's going to be chain link 1, and then Mathematician will be chain link 2. So he'll make the draw. Unless Mathematician's not optional, is it? Oh, it's mandatory, isn't it? Hold on. We got to check if Mathematician is mandatory.
Yes.
He cannot search with that Abyss Pike.
No?
Because Mathematician has to be chain link 1, and then Abyssal has to be chain link 2, and the summon will be chain link.
Should we interrupt the game?
We might have to.
Okay.
Okay, so hold that game. So we're going to double check this game right now, actually. So put a stop to that game there, because I'm pretty sure Mathematician is mandatory. So Mathematician is mandatory, and if it's mandatory, Mathematician has to be chain link 1, and then a Mermail Abyssaline has to be chain link 2. If Mermail Abyssaline is chain link 2, it'll make the special summon Abyss Pike, but that Abyss Pike is special summoned mid-chain. Therefore, it would miss the timing and would not be able to get the effect to search, and Mathematician will draw, and because Mathematician will draw. So we're checking on that now, and that looks to be the situation right now. Thankfully, it is a repairable game state, because we do know at least what was we do see what was added, so we can at least know what was given. So yes, indeedy duty, we are correct in this regard. As Michael is explaining that to them now. Just confirming to make sure that Mathematician is indeed mandatory to draw when it is destroyed by battle. And if it indeed, I'm pretty sure it is mandatory. If it indeed is mandatory, then this chain has resolved illegally. Oh, it is optional. Yeah. Oh, okay. Double checking, so it is optional. All right.
Sorry about that, folks. We just had a...
So to make sure. So in that case, the Abyssal was chain link 1 and the Mathematician was chain link 2. All right. I completely forgot that. I completely forgot.
I thought it was mandatory too.
Yeah,
so.
I completely forgot. It's okay. No harm done. And even if it was, then it'd be a repairable game state. So we're fine. An Abyss.
Well, we're not looking at the cards ourselves. We're just kind of seeing
Yep.
representation. Sometimes it's hard to...
Oh, that's
the Dweller.
Abyss Dweller. And Abyss Dweller, we all know, is very dangerous when it actually has a water material
yeah.
it.
Now, Dalton can still make that Black Rose, though, if he has another level 3 in his hand.
And he's... I found it strange that Dweller's... What? He opted not to attack. Oh, yeah, because he couldn't. Yeah. So he went to Dweller. So I don't know what he was thinking going to that Abyss Dweller. I'm surprised he didn't go to Bahamut Shark. So that's...
This whole game has been a series of interesting plays.
Yeah, I don't understand the need to go to Dweller here, but I guess... Well, he won't get any of the effects off with the Felice, obviously. And good for him, too, because those were actually some fantastic mills with Felice. So the Weather Brush is going to strike into an Abyss Sphere, and there's the Typhoon to counter it. Ooh, painful. The card I always feared to see.
He's got 2 again.
Another one. Wow.
What?
The Mystical Space Typhoon was the card I feared seeing the most when I played Mermails, and wow,
Well, it existed at 3 to coincide with the...
Yes, exactly. And now, but thankfully he had a second one. And now it does matter if he decides to attack with the Wiver Buster or not. It really does matter because it does dictate the actions of what he's going to get with the Bisland and what he pitches. So it's all in the matter of what Dalton's going to do. Best scenario is to attack it. Best scenario is to attack the Bisland. So that way, any subsequent cards he sets afterwards will be safe from marksman or whatnot.
Now, Dalton's in a rather peculiar situation here because he's not going to be able to deal with whatever comes out off that Lind.
No, he can't. And, well, he might be able to normal summon and maybe exceed, but is that a move he wants to make? So he decides to attack the Abyssland after all.
Now, if he has that BLS in hand, this entire play is, like, he'll be fine. Because he can come down and banish whatever the threat is. But here, does he have a marksman in hand?
Does he have it? There's the Abyss. Yes, he does. And that's the scary thing about having to do that. You have to lose that card in the back row. Because it's still the damage step.
If Dalton loses, I think I'm more interested in interviewing him to ask him what he was thinking during this game.
Oh, my. It's round 5. It's round 5, guys. So he searches for the Undyne, traditional pick. And that's probably we're going to see a title from him. Or if he does he run the Mulan Glacier?
No, he does not.
Okay, so all right, probably the best in this situation. So it shows the El Shaddoll fusion. And let's destroy that Abyss Sphere. Alrighty, and we'll draw for turn. Probably the Undyne's going to come out now because that's what he's going to probably spend his normal summon on.
Keep in mind, both of these players are at full life, and Eric just seems to be low on resources now.
Yes, because the double Abyss Sphere on Idris' side is just...
And Idris seems to be like he's almost wasting his resources, because now, if Eric does manage to mount a comeback, he's not going to have those cards anymore.
No, he will not.
And with Eric at full life, it doesn't seem worth, you're not getting much value out of these cards right now.
No, and he just hasn't had any he hasn't had any trap cards to be able to give him any blanket of security for the most part. He lost that bottomless to the Felice, so that doesn't really help him there.
I honestly think if you went first turn Mathematician into Squamata Falco, he would be in much better position than
a
he is
little
now.
Bit, yeah, but I don't know if he had he didn't have a Sinister Shadow game, so I was thinking maybe he would go into Beast, at least get another draw, and then
yeah, but that Felice play is very perplexing.
I do find that perplexing as well, considering he made no follow up with it or anything like that. Yeah. I mean, it was strange enough that he was able to get it off, but
and that it survived long enough to kill the Dweller?
Yeah, he's able to survive a turn. So there it is, the Undyne.
No, there's the title.
To dump the controller. Sorry, dump title, and add a controller to the hand. And most likely, we are probably going to see that controller, that title come out to play. And this is where Mermails get so deadly. Title is an absolute monster in the deck. A 26 will.
In all the decks the Dragon Rulers could be a part of, I think Title had the best home in Mermails.
It did, indeed, because it's a level 7 that could easily help the rank 7 and just be continual discard fodder after you special summon it. I mean, Mermails like to ditch all the time to feed themselves.
Yeah, and they just have a continual supply of water monsters.
Exactly. It's nice to see this here for the Mermails. So I'm going to assume he's going to act. Oh no, that's just
foregoing his battle phase.
That's pretty bad too.
Now he's probably going to make a shark here.
He could make a Bahamut shark here, yes,
and then make an unbreakable board.
Yeah. And he can activate that Abyss Pike's effect too.
Yes,
if he chose to, because he activated that other Abyss Pike's effect last turn on his opponent's turn. And that Aqua Spirit is legal to be special summoned because he was special summoned properly. Yeah. So.
That's another old card that kind of just came back into fruition recently.
Aqua Spirit, yeah. Different time frame, though. But, okay, he's going. Wow, I'm going to love here. Oh, wow, he's going to make that Dragoons play.
Oh,
Here comes
wow.
Dragoons.
Is he going to make the Bahamut, then detach the Dragoons?
Okay, can you name a rank 4 exceed right at the top of your head that uses 4 monsters? I can't.
He has 2 rank 4s he can make right now.
Yeah, he can.
He can even go double Bahamut.
So he's going to opt with the double Abyss Spike. It's a Castell. So get back in there. And then I pray that this is going to be a Bahamut Shark.
I was expecting a Shark Engineer, to be honest.
Oh.
I completely forgot that the Dragoons was banished.
Yes, and he can make full advantage of that going into... What is he going to get? I pray a Water Monster. Sorry, we can't see it's in Eric's hand right now. And there it is. Bahamut Shark. A very classic Mermail play.
Getting that.
And he's probably going to...
Crippling +2 right there.
And here comes the Mermail Abyss Trite. And activate the effect of Dragoons. He's going to search for himself for a Sea Serpent.
Maybe another Megalo?
Let's see. He's not running Wheel of Glacier. And he doesn't need the Megalo.
Yeah, he's got himself set up to just OTK on the next turn right now.
And Dalton. Oh, man.
Why is he summoning Tidal? He can't enter his battle phase.
He cannot. Unless he's doing it just so he can get it back to his hand. Because he did get a Megalo on the field, so he could want it to be some water fodder in his hand. And at the cost of just banishing 2 monsters.
And he wants to Leviera back again next turn?
Maybe. He can indeed Leviera back next turn. But maybe that, but also I think because he wants extra fodder in his hand. Because he knows that with this daunting field that he can't do a whole lot.
And Dalton already has a regular Shaddoll fusion in his hand, and now he's going to get another one.
Yes.
Or another El Shaddoll, likely.
There's probably going to be an El Shaddoll and a Shaddoll fusion.
And he might be able to just pick Idris's board apart at this point now.
So he decides to get El Shaddoll fusion.
Because now he can fuse from his deck.
Yeah.
Likely looking to send a dragon and a beast. Actually, no, he want to send a light.
So no, he wants to send a light. So he probably does have. He's probably going to play Shaddoll fusion to start it off.
Eclipse.
Yes, because he can Eclipse Wyvern into Dark Arm Dragon.
Yep. Now, does he have enough darks to pull that off if he's got a BLS in his hand?
Well, he does have the Wyvern Buster went back.
One dark right now.
So he
does have the BLS in hand though.
Does have BLS. He has a BLS, Shaddoll fusion, El Shaddoll fusion, and Falco in his hand.
If he plays this right, he might be able to just take over Idris's entire board.
He could indeed. Well, first things first, let's play that Shaddoll fusion.
Yeah, he's got to. He's got to do that first. He's got to send at least Dragon and Wyvern, I think. There it is.
Whatever, he needs a light in there at least, so it's probably going to be Eclipse Wyvern. Eclipse Wyvern's probably
either that or another Wyvern Burster.
Yeah. Maybe he might use Dragon to, or he might use Dragon to be able to just destroy that back row, so that way he can
I think that the 2 targets are going to be Eclipse Wyvern and Dragon.
Or
is that Squamata?
That is a Squamata he's decided to throw out.
Well, the Construct can certainly send the Dragon on its own regardless.
It can.
And the Squamata will let him, so he'll get 2 more Shaddoll sent to grave. Oh, I think he's trying to set up a dad play.
Absolutely, he can.
Because that's going to put the 4th dark in. Yep, he's got it. I think Eric's going to mount a comeback right now because he's got both dad and BLS at his disposal. If he goes ahead and sends Dragon Beast, that'll put 4 darks in his graveyard.
He already has a light in the grave, being Felice.
Yeah.
Right? So there's already a light in the grave.
But he needs to have 4 in order to make the BLS work.
Yes, he does. Unless he decides to go Dark Arm Dragon and summons BLS afterwards. So we're going to see. It's also risky on Idris' side to actually... Oh, no.
I don't think it matters at this point now. He's still got a Hell Shaddoll fusion to fuse his Hedgehog and his Falco together. Or he can just use El Shaddoll now to turn them both into a... But he can't make a Winda now.
But But remember, there's a Light and Dark. He can make another construct on the field. But he has to be very careful of his Light and Dark count.
Yeah. If he El Shaddolls now, it won't work. He's got to let that go.
Unfortunately, he will have to let it go.
But I think he's got the game regardless. The only thing that's hindering him right now is that Trite.
Yes. Well, let's see. And he does have an Abyssalin in the grave. Or does he? Let's see. I think he should. There's one attached to Levier. So here's the BLS that comes out to play.
Yep.
And here comes the Dark Arm Dragon.
There's the Dark Arm, and he's got the fuel for it. It's ready to go. There it is.
Yes, it is.
Oh, just crippling.
So we can attack Levier and Castell with BLS for 12 and 1,000, 22. But that's still not enough, even if you factor in Dark Arm Dragon. So there has to be another play on top of this.
Or does he use Dad to pop the Trite to get that out of the way and then use BLS? He can get rid of 5 monsters this turn, though.
Dalton's looking and seeing, what do I want to get rid of? So he is going to target the Abyss Trite with a Dark Arm Dragon.
That's to be. I would have made that play too, I think.
It's understandable.
Because you get that out of the way, you don't have to worry about triggering it later. And then now you can use BLS to destroy it if need be, or banish it if need be.
He can leave the Castell up on the field for future Shaddoll fusions, as that card has done its purpose.
And at the end of his turn, he can make a Winda. And then Idris will just be, stuck in the weeds at this point. There it is. Wow.
And there's that window. Wow. And there's an Abyssalin.
See, I think that's incorrect. I think what he should have done is that he should have made the window first, then destroyed the Trite. So it wouldn't have been able to summon anything else.
Oh, but still, this is game right there, and he gets game either way.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
What a comeback from
Idris
Dalton.
Gives him the win, literally, by flooding his field full of extra deck monsters. Allowing Eric to just snowball into a flurry of combos.
What a game win from that one, exploding with Dark Arm Dragon and Blackluster Soldier. Huge explosive play. When we thought Idris would just completely take control of that, Eric Dalton saw it and no, this game
just
isn't over
saw
yet.
an opening. Idris gave him an inch, and he made a mile.
No, this game isn't over yet. I'm Eric Dalton. It's not happening. Wow.
I think that'll go down as one of the best comebacks we've seen today.
Yeah, it could very well be. That was a great comeback right there. BLS
and it's refreshing to see a game take so long after what we've seen today.
I know, and not being Colfort's that just ends in like 5 minutes. No, we're seeing a great grind game here between Mermails and Shaddolls. Who would have thought this matchup would have happened today?
Oh.
Yes, we have a curtain.
Once again, an entire game goes by where Idris does not see his Shadow Mirrors. A card that Dalton's probably wondering at this point, does he even play?
And that's going to be a big thing, too, because Eric hasn't seen any Shadow Mirrors at all. I wonder if he's anticipating it at this point in time.
Well, he does still have the 3 MST in his main deck.
Yeah, because he has been saving for the Abyss Spheres.
Yep.
So it'll be really interesting to see what Dalton plays the Mystical Space Typhoons to.
If Idris can pull up a Shadow Mirror and then flip a Sphere, Dalton will be really hard-pressed to choose which one he wants to get rid of.
Yeah, give up the long term or the short term. It's tough to say, but let's see what Idris can actually draw and see if he does get those Shadow Mirrors at all. We can't tell what his hand is.
No, but that's likely got to be a Sphere and a land.
Possibly. No, it's dangerous to set both at the same time. So Dalton will start his turn by playing a Allure of Darkness, and he banishes the Collapse Serpent.
His hand looks pretty dead at this point. He's got a Core and a Shadow Games and an Emptiness.
Yeah. So he's going to set a Vanity's Emptiness and a Sinister Shadow Games, what it looks like. And indeed, it is an
there's the
Abyss
lid,
Lid.
yeah.
Summon Jetix Controller. Fish, as in Mermails. So Idris is going to attack with both his monsters. It looks like they both successfully hit home.
I think Idris is just trying to test the waters here. See what.
Why not?
Got. Yeah. Deal some damage here and there. 1,000 here, 1,000 there. And eventually, it all adds up.
Make that normal summon count. If he's got a Jetix controller, may as well use it.
Well, you gotta milk your cards for all they're worth. Why normal summon something else when you don't need it?
You might have to, but this might telegraph that he might not have a Phoenix Wind Wind Blast down if he's willing
That's
to.
true. Yeah.
If he's willing to expended his Jetix controller so early.
Unless you open with multiple controllers.
That would be crippling.
And he's just kind of playing this the best he can.
I know that feeling very well, to have to work with double control in your hand.
He also opened only with 5 cards because he started. So
yes,
this might be setting
true.
him back a little bit.
It's true, it might be. So Eric Dalton plays Sinister Shadow Games in the end phase. He dumps the Hedgehog and adds himself a Squamata. He's inkling there could be some sort of fusion.
He draws El Shaddoll for his turn.
So I summoned Squamata.
Does he have a Super Poly in his hand?
I believe he has an El Shaddoll fusion.
So he could Super Poly away that controller.
So he's opting to actually attack the Abyss Lid and is willing to throw a Vanity's Emptiness onto it. Yes, sir. Out it goes. And Dalton knows that Mermails can't outstick 1800 unless they have the special summon. So he's got to hope that an Abyss Pike or an Abyss Lid an Abyss Pike or Abyss Turge don't come down with and cause him to discard. Yeah. Yes.
Or even a marksman at this point. Yeah.
Even a marksman.
There's the
oh wait, and I am
there's
wrong.
The 18.
Down with the Dragoons.
Idris just has the out. No fear.
Oh my. He may not be able to outstick 18, but he's at least able to break even with it. No, and he's got to play Shaddoll Core in response to the attack of a Jetix controller to save some life points, and rightfully so.
Is it 1950 defense? Or is it that
1950,
attack?
yes. He is 1950 defense. Very beefy defense, no normal Shaddoll.
Yeah.
Although for a Shaddoll or lower can trample over it.
Now, Eric does have a second emptiness set. So I think he has just locked and loaded himself into the driver's seat of this game.
Yeah, he's definitely in a great position right now with that second Vanities, because Mermails don't like seeing Vanities at all, surprisingly.
Yeah, the thing is they do main so many outs to it, so it's not like it's such a difficult card to get over. Idris once again taking his time to make a play. Really calculated player, Idris. He really likes to analyze all of his options, kind of go at every angle.
Now we look at Eric Dalton. He's pretty calm. He's calculated, and while he can show a little emotion, but he's also a dangerous player on the field. I don't count that guy or whatever. And, he's remaining cool.
And just look at Idris's body language. He looks like he's given up.
He's not happy. He's like, oh my god, I can't believe I drew this. I can't believe
he is just doing everything he can, but it is not enough.
No, that's I'm getting that vibe off him right now. And here comes a Shaddoll fusion. Boom. Here comes the construct.
I don't think he's made a single window this entire match.
No, he's not.
And window seems to be the better card for this matchup.
So he lets so there's a breakthrough skill on the construct, and it looks like that effect is going to go through. So he at least gets a double Squamata that he dumped earlier, and that's presumably a Falco, but I don't recall him having a beast in the graveyard, so I find that a little questionable. And he does get the Squamata. He has activated the Squamata this turn, so he's not allowed to. He's not allowed to get that. So he does some of the Squamata. Attacks 28 over 14 for 14 damage. And that's what he does.
Big hunk.
Putting him down to 63. Squamata attacks for 18. 63, can he get him down to 45? No, he's got the Abyss Sphere. Oh, but he's got Amenities again.
Oh, I think that seals the game right there.
No way, not today, Disco Lady. And Idris is eating it up right now. And the unfaced the sphere will die, will be destroyed, and he will draw for the turn.
What can he possibly do to get out of this board?
He might be able to. He might be able to miss Pike and then Tidal afterwards, but I don't see that happening. $18.
Here comes the game shot. If Idris can't stop it, does he have a Wing Blast? Does he have the Wing Blast? Oh, he's got the book.
The moon, no.
He will live to see another day.
Almost as bad. Sets another to his back row, and now he's put himself in a dangerous position.
Oh,
and he scoops it up.
Yep.
And that's it. Oh, wow. And there you go. Eric Dalton able to survive the tidal wave that is Mermails and is able to move on with a win here. Very close.
Very close game. Yes, for sure.
Pull it out in the end. Wow. He's had many encounters with Mermails, especially with me, but he's able to best them today with his Shaddolls.